Hello, everyone. For Chapter 7 worksheet, I'll go over 3 questions to cover the calculator commands that are needed for this chapter. So the first one that I will go over is number 7. And then for every question that you are doing within Chapter 7, you need to decide if that's a proportion or if that's about mean. And this one, you need to read the question and get the idea if that's about proportion. You need to pay attention to the words that are also descriptive of what that is. Of 380 randomly selected medical students, 21 said that they plan to work in a rural community. Find a 95% confidence interval for the true proportion of all medical students who plan to work in a rural community. Okay, so as soon as you see the word proportion and you see 95%, so you know that it's gonna be finding one prop. So it's gonna be one prop. Z, so I'm going to write it up here. So it's going to be one prop Z interval, because at the end you are looking for the interval. It says what is the interval? It's not a test, it's an interval. What you need to do is you need to write me the calculator command and then list the things you have. So you have X, that is the partial, that's 21. Out of 380, and then the level of confidence, so it's 95% C level. So all you need is you need to grab your calculator and then use one prob Z interval. You go to stat, if you need to find it, go under stat, scroll to test, and then go all the way down until you get to one prop. Because it's one population, you just say one prop Z interval, and that's number A. Letter A. So, and then you put in the data. It's 95%. You put X and N in there. And here we go, 0.0. So the answer is 0.03229 all the way to 0.07824. And if you want to explain, you would say we are 95% confident. So we are 95% confident that the true population proportion of, and then you write the scenario, the true population proportion of all medical students, who plan to work in a rural community is between, this one is like, either you're going to write it as decimal, or since it's proportion, you can also write it as percentage, but it's about 3.2% to 7.8%. You multiply each by 100 to get the percent. 3.2% to 7.8%. So the answer to that is A. Next question. Assume that a sample is used to estimate a population proportion P. Again, the word population proportion. Find the margin of error, E, that corresponds to the given statistics and confidence level. So X is given, N is given, the confidence level is given. All you need to do is, again, it's one population, so you use one prop, Z interval, because they are looking for the confidence interval or level given. But then they ask for margin of error. Here's how you're going to use interval to find the margin of error. So you're going to put it to your calculator. X is 1672. N is 2388. And then C level, confidence level, is 95%. So first you find that number, that value, on your calculator. Again, remember that's a stat test. And this is A. You scroll down until you get to A, application A. So here is the interval we found. So the interval is 0.68179 all the way to 0.71854. In order to find margin of error, first of all, if you want to find the best point, that's exactly P hat that is in the middle. So I'm going to put the best point. It's also given on the calculator point, and that's X over N if you wonder how they find it. So 0.700167, let's say round it to 8. Okay. Now you found the interval from here to here with these values. So this is the beginning and this is the ending. Margin of error is this distance or this distance, which they are the same. In order to find that distance, if here is 0.71854, in order to find this distance, you need to subtract these two values. So E, again, you could have done it with these two numbers, the 0.68179 and the best point. E is 0.71854 minus 0.7000168. And if you do the subtraction, you'll get just putting it to calculator, 54 minus 0.700168. It makes sense to do it with me because that's going to be a good practice. 0.0184. And that's option B. That's how you find margin of error. Again, best point is P hat, which is X over N, and also given by your calculator. And then margin of error is the difference. Okay, let's now do the next one. Next one is more of about mean and not population proportion. Let's read that and see why. It says, use the given degree of confidence and sample data to construct a confidence interval for the population mean. It's not proportion anymore. It's not population proportion. It's population mean, which is the same thing as average, population average. Assume that the population has a normal distribution. So that's one of the requirements. 30 randomly selected students took the calculus final. If the sample mean was 95, so sample mean is the same thing as X bar. that's 95. You can note yourself as you go. And a standard deviation, so standard deviation for the sample is 6.6, that's S. Construct a 99% confidence interval. So the confidence level is 99%. So 0.99. You always put it into your calculator as a decimal. For the mean score of all students. So if it's about mean, and it's one population for now, one population mean, you need to go to test, and you need to find t-interval. So you go to stat, test, number 8, and that calls t-interval. Because again, it's one population, is about mean, and a standard deviation for the mean is given. So all you need is just to enter the values you have, and you sort of wrote out. X bar is 95, S is 6.6, N is the number of randomly selected student, and it was 30, so just note yourself that N is 30. So then you put N equal to 30 with 99%, 0.99, and here is the interval. The interval is 91.68, comma to 98.32. And that would be A. And here's what you need to write. You say, we are 99% confident. So we are 99% confident that the true population mean, because it's about mean, true population mean of, and then you write out the scenario. So of all students who took, so all students who took the calc exam is between 91.68, it's better to write it with word, to 98.32. So the mean score for the population of all students who took the calculus exam is between 91.68 to 98.32. Again, you're going to use the confidence interval to estimate the true population mean, or true population proportion, depending to what the question is. Okay, that's all I wanted to do for chapter 7. The rest are pretty similar to these. Okay.